Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of Planet Sky Fantasy Football, the world where everything revolves around £50,000. How are we doing, James?
Yeah, I'm good, mate. You?
Better week?
For Sky, yeah.
For Sky. Yeah, for those that don't know, when I came into the office this morning and I saw James, I did say to him, I thought you were going to phone in sick today.
Sick does not come into my vocabulary, mate.
I didn't watch the game yesterday, mate. I was working late.
Very briefly, we played extremely well for half hour. And then we got, sorry, for the guys who don't know, I support Tottenham.
Yeah.
We played very well for half hour. And then we got absolutely mullered in the second half.
Were they good or you bad?
They were incredibly clinical. It wasn't a 7-2 game. They well deserved to win comfortably.
But was it one of those every shot happened to just go in?
Towards the end of the game, yeah, absolutely.
Philippe Coutinho looked good? Is he that classy player we know he is?
They're a top team, Bayern Munich. Top team. You only have to look at the players they're bringing off the bench. I mean, if I was Spurs, I'd go and buy Thiago. Like, if he's not starting for them, come and run my midfield. Honestly, he made such a difference for them, I thought, when he come on. So silky. Lewandowski is a much better player than I thought he was.
Let's talk about Sky Fantasy Football because that's what we're here to talk about. How many points this week?
92.
Oh, one more than me. I got 91, which is probably one of my best scores of the season so far. Just checking, I think it is my best score of the season so far. So very happy with that. And now up to 50,000. Which is not great, but it's also not bad. I think the Sunday move that we ummed and ahed about, bringing in Vardy for captain, paid off particularly well. Not massively more points than Suyunchu, which was the backup plan, but enough that it made it worthwhile. And then I had points from Sterling, Salah, Haller, a few points here and there from Trent Alexander-Arnold, Suyuncu, and then 4s and 5s with tier points and all that. Happy with that. 91. I think if you average 91 all season, that would be pretty decent for Sky, right? Yeah,
probably. I don't know the answer to that.
Yeah, that would be best part of 3,000 points.
I have no idea, but I suppose on an average, 90 is probably decent.
My game week rank was 20,000.
Dan, tell me what's a good average in this game. I really don't know.
20,500 for the game week and 50,000 overall.
Who did you bring Vardy in for out of interest?
Haller. I had a shit ton sitting in the bank.
Okay, so you played him Saturday, obviously made the change Sunday once you saw the team.
Yep. I had a shit ton in the bank. So
I brought him in for Salah.
Okay.
As I'd said on last week's Sky Pod, it was a call between Salah and Aguero, which one went. For me, it was more a case of looking at those Aguero fixtures in the immediate rather than Salah's, particularly those two home games. I've got Villa and Southampton. I think I'm going to want Aguero about. So Salah gone, didn't see where I'd particularly be captaining him in the forthcoming. Ironically, he's probably still the best captain choice this Saturday.
Yep.
But I think in the longer term, there will be more use for me out of Aguero than Salah. So that's why I went that way. Quite right what you said about Suyuncu as a captaincy cover for the Sunday gone would have been absolutely fine. The argument against is, yes, we could have had 20 points from Suyuncu and saved the transfer. We've now got 36 from Suyuncu and captain Vardy.
Vardy together, and some good opportunity for the both of them in upcoming fixtures as well.
So worth an extra 16 points there. So for me, just on the one game week already feels like that was worthwhile. And although I won't captain Vardy at Liverpool this week, there is every chance I will captain him in Leicester's next 3 fixtures. So certainly a value transfer from my perspective.
Yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you for sure. We asked for some Twitter questions this week as well, which we've had a few. Some, as always, some good, some bad. Shout out to FPL Belgian FPL. We're not going to be looking at this question, but he's getting Serge Gnabry dig in there.
Go on, read it out.
Is Gnabry a good captaincy option on Sunday? I don't even know.
No, he's not, because Bayern Munich are playing on Saturday.
Oh, there you go.
Next question.
Answered for you there. FPL Potter Jamie, a couple of questions. One, am I more enthusiastic for Sky now? Me personally, it felt like I'd really lost interest and it came across on the pod, and he's also added that he's not asking it in a dickhead way. One thing that
good lad.
Is just enjoy the positive vibes on FPL. Just two answer. Well, 3 points on that. One, don't worry about ever asking a question in a dickhead way, because I think I got pretty thick skin. There's nothing anyone can say that will particularly offend me, and I'll just move on. So all well and good, no harm done. Secondly, am I more enthusiastic? Yes, because I made a transfer this weekend. And it's game week 8, and it's only the second transfer I've made, when first was Alisson to Ederson because Alisson's injury, and then the second one is, apart from the overhaul week, this is only the second transfer I've made all season. I think that has had an impact. I feel like I'm actually playing the game now rather than sitting and waiting and watching. And I was a bit under the weather last week, so I think if it came across as a bit down, I was just probably a bit tired, and we've been chatting a lot of shit anyway.
Everybody commented, it's so sad. Are you going to do this pod on your own now, James?
But yeah, no, 91 points. If it's energized me, yes, it has. I think I'm going to just start making some transfers, at least one every other week now, to start playing the game. There's only one place to start, which is actually Jamie's first question. What's the best plan for Kevin De Bruyne, or De Bruyne, or whatever his name is, KDB?
You own him?
I own him in both games, although on official FPL I'm on my wild card, so I can chop and change. Having said that, I bought him at 9.9 and he's now 10. If he dropped down to 9.9, I'd consider just getting rid in my. If he dropped to 9.9 before the weekend for my fantasy team, I'd probably get someone else and then buy him back in when I know he's fit, because I can. For Sky, value doesn't matter, right? There's no ups or downs on price. So then it's just a case of, do you want to waste the transfer on him? And I'm not sure.
For FPL, I will almost certainly keep.
You got him at 9.6.
I don't own him 9.7. I got
okay, 9.7.
I don't own him in the Sky game. I would love to, by the way. Mm-hmm. I would almost certainly hold. Almost certainly hold. Unless it gives you something that you don't have that really massively covers you off for a captaincy, which I don't foresee, because I assume the majority of the listeners are probably working with a front three at the moment with a bit of power. So unless you're coming up like Suja's done for, say, an Allaire to, I don't know, someone in Kane's range, for example, then I don't see where it would be worthwhile. And then it's obviously 2 transfers, because I assume you've got 3 forwards sitting in your team.
Yeah.
So then what do you do from the midfielder point of view? What's your contingency then to get Kevin De Bruyne back? I saw Guardiola's comments last night, and I actually wouldn't even be surprised if De Bruyne started this weekend.
Yeah, I'm in your camp.
It honestly wouldn't surprise me.
I'm in your camp. I think that he
didn't factually rule him out for Sunday at all.
No, and they were just going to see how he responds to treatment. So I'm with you on that. If I'm a Kevin De Bruyne holder, I would probably, and I got any kind of indication that it was maximum of a week out, I would probably hold. After this weekend, we've got the international break anyway.
I suspect after the breakdown of injuries that De Bruyne suffered last year, there will be far more caution used with him than what's been used in the past, similar to, I think, you might see a bit more of it with Kane at Spurs this year. But there's every chance he'll be fit and he'll play. Mm-hmm. And actually, if you don't own an Aguero or something, he'd be a great captaincy choice this weekend, potentially. But I don't think you could possibly take that gamble.
Not with the injury. Injury-free, Kevin De Bruyne's captainable any game, but not with the injury, in my opinion. On both games, he's flagged as 50% with this groin injury, but it's toss a coin then at that point, isn't it?
No consideration to sell. I strongly believe if you have him, you should keep him.
Heskibo at FPL Heskibo wants to know what your plan is for the awkward single game days coming up, particularly Norwich, Watford, and Sheffield United, Man United. Would you be looking to get someone in or just bin them off and go captainless?
So Norwich, Watford is November no, it's even further than that, November the 8th, and Sheffield United, Man United's not till after the November international breaks, November the 24th. I own Wan-Bissaka. I think Sheffield United are one of the poorest. That's harsh. One of the teams that will end the season with the lowest tally of goals. Let me put it that way.
Yep.
So Wan-Bissaka to cover the captaincy there for me would be absolutely fine. The Norwich one's interesting because, as it stands, I probably won't make a transfer for this weekend. But the one that keeps nagging me a little bit is Harry Wilson to Cantwell. Mm-hmm. And it would allow me, having now come down from Salah to Vardy, potentially to move from Luca Dean to Kevin De Bruyne. Now, that's obviously not a move I would make this week, but I'm thinking further ahead here.
Yep.
And that one's nagging me for a couple of reasons. One, obviously, Harry Wilson is probably the player in my team I'm least happy with at the moment. They go to Arsenal this weekend.
Yep.
Doesn't overly appeal. And I feel like if you're going to go into Norwich trying to think towards that Friday captaincy in November, that probably it's now. And I just don't see where I could even look to think to get Pookie in, even though he's a great price. How can I take Aguero, Vardy or Aubameyang out for that now, to plan for that? Would it then be worthwhile to dive Pookie in for the 1 game week at home to Watford? I don't think so. So Cantwell is in my thoughts. My instinct is I probably won't make that move. And one of the reasons I don't think I will is, for me then to go Dean to De Bruyne was probably going to max me out from a value perspective. It would also make it very difficult for me to get up from Vardy to Salah, Mane, Kane, for example. And I need to be conscious of that. Essentially, I don't want any player to be out of reach. And trying to force to get Kevin De Bruyne in when he's fit feels like it would put a few players out of touch for me. So I'm not sure that I'll make the move. Obviously, I can go Cantwell and I can move Luca Dean to Otamendi, for example, and still hold the value. There are other options because I'm not happy with Dean in the team either. But Everton,
me neither.
Everton's fixtures are okay for a little bit longer. If I don't get Cantwell, I think I will just ignore Norwich Watford.
I'm with you on that. I think Cantwell is the only real option. I have other questions. It's amazing how one transfer then has knock-on effects elsewhere,
Yes.
right? So I'm not happy with Pepe, and that's a talking point and a few questions that we've had what to do with Pepe. And it's not so much not happy with Pepe, but Aubameyang is clearly the standout. I tried to do 2 different things with my Sky team and my FPL team, in that I've got Salah in my Sky team and not in my FPL team. I've got Aubameyang in my FPL team, not in my Sky team. I thought if they're a bit different, then I've got a bit of variety there. If one of them really bangs, then I've got one of my teams doing well. But I think Aubameyang is a must now with the fixtures coming up, and he's obviously very good captaincy potential over Pepe. So if I took Pepe down to Cantwell, gives me that coverage and also frees me up a lot of money. I'm with you in the camp of I'm not happy with Luca Dean. The flip side is I don't have Aaron Wan-Bissaka, so that's quite a straightforward move for me. They're the same price.
That's ages away anyway.
Yeah, I know, but just in general, I think that's a move that I can make closer to the time and see how Manchester United react to their average performance.
United do have a good block of around about 5 fixtures after they play Liverpool. I'm pretty sure that's when it starts.
Yeah.
And I think the Sheffield United game's probably the 4th of those 5, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Pepe to Cantwell gives me a ton of money to upgrade Mount or anyone really, but then where would I spend that money? I'd probably get rid of Gilbert at that point, who still picked up an assist at the weekend.
He holds you to value. I think if you've gone for Gilbert or Burn, you're just going to stick with it and take it, aren't you? And almost accept, okay, you've got 10 players and whatever he returns. Because essentially he costs you nothing almost. In Gilbert literally is the cheapest player you can have in the game, isn't he? So he costs you nothing. So any return that he gets you is positive bonus value essentially.
Yep. Yeah. So then what do I do? Leave 4.6 million in the bank? No, you don't. But I think like you're playing around there and making multiple moves. One of the things I'm quickly learning about this game is patience. Yep. Yeah, I'm only modelling what could happen in maybe over 4 or 6 weeks as opposed to instant.
All right, I'm not happy with Harry Wilson in my team. I'm not particularly happy with Luca Dean in my team. But am I forcing transfers here that I don't knowingly know that are going to improve my team, my squad and my total points? And I'm not sure I want to be wasting that Harry Wilson to Cantwell. Can I even be sure when Vrancic gets fully fit that Cantwell's going to stay in the Norwich team?
Harry Wilson's not been playing badly. I mean, he was very central in the game against us, and he was threading balls through and stuff. Why are you not happy with Harry Wilson?
Well, I think
because he keeps getting hooked.
Well, Fraser's not playing at the moment. I think he's going to work his way in at some point. And Josh King is playing really well. He has done the last 2 games from wide left position. And obviously Solanke's playing up front with Callum Wilson at the moment. So I see reduced minutes for Harry Wilson. That's a big concern.
But King doesn't play in his position, and neither do Solanke and Wilson. So
they're also both 2 players, Wilson and Cantwell, who, unless they're returning, are probably, and when I say return, I mean scoring, probably not likely to hit any of the tiers either.
Yep.
So there is going to be a stream of 2s, probably with both of these players. So I don't know if that sort of thing's worth it. I'm really, really not sure.
There are a number of questions around Mo Salah as well, and whether or not Salah's worth it. At Kermit the winger, who wants to know, he's got I'm assuming it's Salah versus McGinn as a straight debate.
Well, if it wasn't he'd presumably be Miss Piggy, wouldn't he?
Yeah, quite possibly. And Jan Polsky, KG, wants to know if Salah's worth the extra compared with Mane. Everybody seems to be getting jittery feet about Mohamed Salah at the moment.
I think because we haven't owned him in FPL, it's probably not haunted us on our brain so much. And plus, I've just sold him as well in Sky.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, fine, I've made my decision. Salah divides opinion probably more than anyone, from the extent that he just feels like the hardest player to let go.
Yep.
I feel most FPL and Sky players would probably say, Mo Salah is the hardest player to let go of your team. If you're not going to captain him this Saturday, then what's he doing in your squad? Because I still think I knew when I took him out, I was going to put myself in a position that was going to leave me struggling for this coming Saturday.
Yep.
However, I would look at the 13 points that Jamie Vardy returned and probably be doubtful that Salah will replicate that against Leicester themselves this Saturday.
They are at home though, and Salah does play particularly better at home.
Yeah, listen, if you've got Mo Salah or you've got Mane, I think that's your captain this Saturday.
Salah's my captain, with Sterling on Sunday.
What are the alternatives? Kane or Son? Son's ownership in this is very low, I think.
He's very expensive.
I don't think Harry Kane even is in a lot of teams. And you've got Burnley against Everton, Norwich against Villa, Watford against Sheffield United, West Ham against Palace. So captaincy debate for me this weekend is basically Alexander-Arnold against Leicester. Siunku, obviously not an option. Vardy against Liverpool.
Yeah.
Luca Dean at Burnley, or at the moment is sitting on Super John McGinn away to Norwich. John McGinn is one of the best value players in this game at the moment.
Yep.
7.4 million, 54 points overall. Just returned back-to-back double-figure hauls, and that's with only scoring 1 goal in each game. Got the man of match against Burnley. Picked up shot tier passing against Arsenal. Even with a blank the weekend before against West Ham, he picked up tier 1 for tackles and shots. He is a super fantasy asset, John McGinn.
Sky fantasy.
And Norwich probably are the weakest defensive side in this league. You make a case for Watford at the moment.
And Newcastle.
And I think circumstance a little bit for Newcastle. Newcastle's problems are probably more the other end. Just such a poor side. So should I have fear about going John McGinn in that fixture this weekend? I think I'd go with him. I'd go with him. Saturday's a really tough call, and Sunday's a tough call as well. Probably because there are too many options. And I think there will be a lot of people waiting on the Man City team news and then making their decision, presumably between Aguero slash Sterling and Aubameyang. Both teams kick off at 2:00. Arsenal at home to Bournemouth, City at home to Wolves. You look at the league table and you think, I should go for one of the City guys. I will most likely go for Aubameyang again.
Aubameyang's just Mr. Consistent this season. He's just a stone-faced killer, so I don't have an issue with that. I mean, City had a relatively straightforward home win yesterday in the Champions League. Are Arsenal away or at home on Thursday? I don't even know, to be honest with you.
They're at home. I'd be amazed if Aubameyang played.
Right, okay. So, I mean, it's just a case of Thursday, Sunday versus a relatively straightforward Tuesday versus Sunday.
They'll pick a second string side, Arsenal, including Mesut Ozil, I presume.
They might even loan back Wilshere of us to have a Europa League run out. You never know.
Who's your likely captains this weekend, Suj?
Not likely, as it stands, Salah and then Sterling. Salah on Saturday and Sterling on Sunday. I've got no reason to make any transfers this week, if I'm honest with you, so I'm not going to force the issue. But this is where it keeps coming back to. Like, if you had Salah and Sterling as your two options as captain, and two of the best players in the game, right?
Yeah, don't overthink it.
Nah.
Yeah, Salah and then Mane are the two best options on Saturday.
At what point do you end up leaving the number of transfers you have too late to start making big moves? So you could end up in January with, let's say, 30 transfers. Would you opt for 30 or 32 transfers out of your 40 left coming into the second half?
That many?
It's a question.
No, I mean, I imagine,
You've
for
got
example...
39 now, right?
Again, there's not a huge amount of... I've got 38 left.
Okay, I've got 38
There's
too.
not a huge amount of manipulation. I'm not drilled into it too hard, but I don't think there's too much manipulation in November either, in terms of getting 3-for-1s, 4-for-2s, that kind of thing. There obviously are some, but there are not huge manipulations of that. December, there will be more. Mm-hmm. We still don't know where we stand with this West Ham Liverpool situation. Could it be in late November, early December? Could it be in January, February? We don't know. That's going to want some movement around some things. And then obviously the blank doubles, and I think around that area I'll come into my own. So my rank's now up to 12k.
Yeah.
I'm very happy with that.
So the next
personally
overhaul is in between which two game weeks? Remind me. I've got it up here in front of me. 20 game week 24 and 25. So last week of January. 1st of February is when the cutoff is for the next game week.
I'm trying to dive ahead to see when that is, because I really
it's the end of
don't know.
January. So it's the game week 25. The kickoff first game of game week 26 is 1st of February. There's an international break there.
So it's when is the overhaul? Between 24 and 25?
25 and 26.
25 and 26.
Yeah, the overhaul will remain open for the whole of game week 25.
So
End of January.
Game week 24 is weekend starting Saturday 18th of January. The following weekend, game week 25, is the FA Cup 4th round. That's why they've done that. And then you've got game week 26, 1st of February.
So it feels like that's fair to say halfway point of the season. Maybe just a little bit past that.
And interestingly, the week after that is the weekend that they're going to split it.
Yep.
5 fixtures one weekend, 5 another. I mean, you think of even that weekend, which is not something that it will be new for us. It's obviously going to be new for Sky players as well, in terms of how many your 2-for-1s you're going to get out of that. Around that weekend, there's going to be loads, I bet.
Yeah, true. Would you be happy going into the overhaul with 30 transfers then at that point? Maybe use another 8 between now and then, 8 or 9.
No, I think having listened to the Sky podcast with like Mark and that, they were probably suggesting you probably want to be kind of halfway.
Okay, so I've used 20.
Yeah.
But if you don't foresee using more than 2 or 3 up by the end of November...
My strategy would be slower than that. I think between now and that second overhaul, I'd probably want to have about maybe even 25 left on the other side. 25. I don't know. December is such a congested period where teams have got like 7-8 fixtures, so you're going to use a lot in December, I would have thought.
And we still don't know about injuries.
You come out the other side, it's February, and then there's maybe actually only about 10 to 12 games to go.
Yeah.
Then it's manoeuvring blanks, doubles, that kind of thing. That will be my strong point, is manoeuvring those areas.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't think there's no point having 32 transfers left for 10 game weeks.
No, exactly.
That's
so realistically, something between 12 and 15 between.
But I don't think
to use.
The guys who've played regularly will probably have different solutions in terms of what's right or wrong. It's obviously new for us, so we don't know as such.
I'm only asking. I feel like are we being too cautious? That's my question.
Maybe we are. I don't know, but I felt like I took an aggressive approach to Jamie Vardy on Sunday when I could have just sat there on Siunku and saved it again, and it would have been okay. You know, the 20-point captain return there suffices absolutely fine. So I feel like that was an aggressive move. But then is Harry Wilson to Cantwell doesn't feel aggressive. That feels like me making the sort of move. That's the sort of move I would make to get a player in my FPL team, where I've got to consciously think about things like value a little bit more.
Sure.
Whereas I just need to be a little bit tighter here.
There we go. Interested to know what your thoughts are on how many transfers you think you should have coming out of game week 25, which is roughly the halfway point of the season, a little bit over halfway. 25, 30, even 20, you have half your transfers left. Do let us know in the comments on YouTube or tweet at us or wherever else. You can leave comments on SoundCloud clips and all the rest of that kind of stuff. And yeah, we'll be fascinated to know what you think. There's only 2 match days in this game week, Saturday and Sunday, so no complications of Friday and Monday, so should be a little bit more straightforward in planning your team and what have you. But yeah, do let us know what your thoughts are. Anything else to add, James, on Sky?
Yeah, prediction for this weekend, actually.
Prediction for what? You're predicting something.
I've hit 90 scores in the 90s for the last 3 game weeks.
Yep.
I think a score of 70 this week will be very good.
Okay.
Don't feel bad about it on the other side. I will predict a lower scoring weekend. Part because of, I think if Liverpool didn't score against Leicester, for example, that's going to knock the majority of the captaincies on Saturday.
Yeah.
So, and then you kind of fighting on split decisions on the Sunday, that's a tough call. I think I will go Aubameyang, even if, we'll have the benefit of knowing the City team, and if obviously Aguero, Sterling are starting and that. I think I'll back Aubameyang, actually.
Okay, there we go. James has called it. 70 will get you a game week rank of what? Top 5k? Top 10k?
I don't know.
Well, you said it's going to be a good week.
I just think it will be a low scoring week.
Yeah, look, we were both inside the top 20k with 90 points. So let's see if we're inside the top 20k if we even score 70 points each this week. Let's even try and get to that first. Guys, thanks for listening in to Sky FF. Today we're recording for tomorrow, to be fair. Our clash of the correspondents, we have Sam at FPL Seagull coming in talking about Brighton, and Ricky Saunders at Ricky Saunders 77 talking about Spurs. We will try and talk about this Sunday or Saturday's game. When you play Saturday, isn't it? The early kickoff on Saturday's game, without letting too much Champions League creep in. But I don't know if that's going to happen. And then we're back on Friday with the final plan.
I'm well aware I'm going to get ruined on this podcast, and it's okay. I'm not sure at the moment if Ricky's going to come on or not.
Oh, okay.
He might have bottled it. He'll be on it.
He'll be on it. We're going to be back on Friday with our final plan, North v South differentials, and our FPL teams. My finalised wild card potentially as well. Will be there to be discussed. So plenty of FPL content coming your way. Do hit subscribe, like, share, comment, all that other stuff that people need to do. Anything else to add before we shout that guy?
No, thank you. Stay positive.
Ciao for now.
Cue music, man, child.